Jean-Pierre decided to switch parties yesterday. She quits the Democrat Party in order to do what? Grift, make money. That's exactly what this is all about. Obviously, it's so transparent and so embarrassing. And now the entire Biden White House is turning on her, which I think is hysterical. Ladies and gentlemen, Karine Jean-Pierre. Here we go. She has quit the Democrat Party after its betrayal of Joe Biden to become an independent, her publisher said in a statement. It's always good when you're the publisher of your book trying to cash in on lying to the American people. It's always great when the publisher is out releasing these statements for you. Got it? Karine Jean-Pierre, who's 50, who served under Biden for 2 years, will explain this decision to her book titled Independent. A look inside of a broken White House. Outside of the party lines. Publishing house has said, Jean-Pierre blazed trails as the first black gay spokesperson. Jean-Pierre didn't come to her decision to be independent lightly. Oh, got it. Okay. They said in a statement. Really? What was it that made you come to that decision? What could it possibly be? What could it be? I don't know. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Ding, ding, ding. I don't know if we have a money money sound effect. We should do that. We should do like ka-ching. That's what. Yeah. There we go. Okay, there you go. Let me help you out here. This didn't. We thought long and hard about whether we should leave the Democrat Party, and then we heard a noise, and we said yes, we should leave the Democrat Party. Jeez, what a mess. What is that? It's so transactional. Her, Jake Tapper. It's so gross. So, yes, Karine Jean-Pierre is now out. And more importantly, the Democrat Party is roasting her and ripping her to pieces, which is great. So now all the rats from inside of the ship are attacking each other. It makes us very happy. Here are some of the Democrats who are on the record now criticizing Karine Jean-Pierre. There's also a great Axios breakdown about this in this morning's read. I'll get that loaded up here in just a second. Here's Democrats roasting Cringe.
All Binder's gold digging for book deals. Democrats are rolling their eyes. One Democrat says Binder's book is the most grifty thing I've seen in a long time. And that's saying something in Washington. One former Biden White House official says she was the public face telling us all that this White House was on track and that Biden was amazing. And now she doesn't even want to be a Democrat. Here's what CNN said about DEI Tapper.
What bothers me about this, and I was making some phone calls before this to a number of former Biden administration officials and people in the White House, where they were saying this is just all an attempt to sell books. And that is what the general consensus is right now in the Democratic Party.
Whoa, wait a second. When Tapper's book came out, CNN was like, this book was brave. But Binder writes a carbon copy, and it's like, uh-oh, money grab. One Democrat insider tells Fox, the job market's really tough right now for Biden world, and I cannot begrudge anyone who needs to make a quick buck. Binder's been trying to get a TV deal, but let's be honest, that was never in the cards. After she left the administration, she tried to get a job co-hosting The View, but The View never called her back.
Well, I think the position of extremely angry lesbian has been filled on The View, and for quite a while. Yeah. Good luck, Cringe, because it's gonna get worse for you. Biden world goes scorched earth on Cringe Jean-Pierre. This is a absolute barn burner. So exciting here. Some of the top line quotes are hysterical. These are from people inside of the Joe Biden White House. Karine Jean-Pierre didn't know how to manage a team. She didn't know how to shape or deliver a message, and often created more problems than she solved. They said she was stupid, unintelligent. This is reading like a monologue from this program, from inside of the Biden White House. This is delicious. Let's read it. Former Biden press secretary Cringe announced Tuesday that she's written a book about a broken Biden White House and a betrayal of the president. Many of her former colleagues think Cringe, the face of the White House for more than 2 years, was part of the problem, according to interviews with 24 Biden administration officials. Here we go. Karine Jean-Pierre's announcement Wednesday led former Biden aides to tee off on her. Many quietly fumed that for years she was incompetent at her job and at the podium. Let me take a quick zoom out here. As much as I love the backbiting and the shrieking and the raging here by libs, where were you when she was at the press dais? Like, isn't that amazing how Republicans fight each other in real time? How Democrats hold off until they have no more power and then they rip each other to shreds? But Democrats will never do anything unproductive in the moment. They all knew this. This is what they all believed behind the scenes. But they wait until it's safe to attack the carcass, right? It's so bad. If Republicans practice this for like a little bit, then there would never be a Democrat victory ever again. Democrats, to their great credit and to my great admiration, stay freaking on. They stay so brain deadly committed, actually, to the deliverance of power that they'll allow these things to go on. Joe Biden and everything. Obviously, it reaches its end point. Okay, you shouldn't be supporting Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. It reaches its end point. But at the very least, they're not doing this they're not doing this live. Republicans would just do this live to each other, which is sad. It's a tactic of our enemy, in fact. Anyway, here we go. Fighting within Biden world. Is a large part of the post-election angst and grievances. New reporting of how Biden staff tried to hide his physical and mental decline. Cringe was a key part of the effort to conceal Biden's decline, vouching for his fitness and insisting the president, then 81, was sharp as ever after last June's disastrous debate with Trump. What they're saying, here are the former White House officials tattletaling on Cringe, saying she was one of the most ineffectual and unprepared people I've ever worked with. She had meltdowns after any interview that asked about a topic not sent over by producers. She didn't know how to manage a team. She didn't know how to shape or deliver a message, and often created more problems than she solved. Goodness gracious. Former Biden communications official threw more wood on the fire. The hubris of thinking that you can position yourself as an outsider when you not only have enjoyed the perks of extreme proximity to power, which bestows the name recognition needed to sell books off your name, but have actually wielded it from the biggest pulpit there is breathtaking and is desperate. And it's difficult to see how this is anything other than a bizarre cash grab. Another former White House official, familiar with the dynamics, told Axios the amount of time that was spent coddling Karine Jean-Pierre and appeasing her was astronomical compared to our attention on the actual matters of substance. Excuse me. Former senior spokesperson in Biden administration added, it's hard to believe somebody could look at the past year and genuinely think the party left Joe Biden. That's why I'm leaving the Democrat Party. Former White House communication official added, today, Cringe lost the only constituency that ever supported her, the party line Democrats. Cringe did not respond for comment. Okay, final one. Karine Jean-Pierre also caused internal drama by repeatedly blocking National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby from joining her at the White House podium when national security issues were breaking on the forefront of the news. Oh, really? Really? This individual right here, can you go up to the top and then zoom in on the photo? That individual right there is cripplingly narcissistic and incapable of sharing credit or giving to anyone other than herself. That she is completely and totally self-obsessed. Really? What a shocker. Total shocker. Ladies and gentlemen, it does remind us of a Tucker monologue about Karine Jean-Pierre that sadly we don't have loaded, but of Karine Jean-Pierre being so self-referential. How every answer is about me and my experience, which is just an insane worldview. And something that, again, sort of crystallizes a current moment in American politics where there's one side that's so obsessed with their feelings and so obsessed with how their identities, right? And how that makes them feel, how every issue makes them feel. And that's the side that somehow said that they were the adults in the room. Anybody who's raised children know that is actually the object nature of a child, right? I have a 2-year-old. That's how my 2-year-old thinks. I have a 3-year-old. That's how my 3-year-old sees the world. when you grow up, it's spiritual, actually. It's demanded by God. You have to grow out of those things. Becoming an adult means consideration for others around you. And more importantly, consideration for your nation writ large, your country, how it operates. That's what an adult would do. That's what this current administration is doing, and you're going to see it live on our program. You're also going to see Superman live on our program here in just a moment. Okay, let's do one flashback. This is interesting, ALX. Why did you choose this one? All right, flashback on Karine Jean-Pierre. Here's her lying about Joe Biden, saying that the videos we see of Joe Biden falling ass backwards, pooping his pants on live TV, which he did. He did that on MSNBC. I'm not being mean. He did, in fact, do that. We have the footage. She's saying that those are all lies. That it's just all AI, okay? The videos that we all saw from C-SPAN cameras filming Joe Biden falling on his face on a flat stage, that was fake. Here we go.
There seems to be a sort of rash of videos that have been edited to make the president appear especially frail or mentally confused. I'm wondering if the White House is especially worried about the fact that this appears to be a pattern that we're seeing more often.
Yeah, and I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith, and some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these the right-wing critics of the president have a credibility problem because of the fact checkers have repeatedly caught them pushing misinformation, disinformation, and so we see this, and this is something coming from your part of the world, calling them cheap fakes and misinformation. And I'll quote the Washington Post, where they wrote about this, and they said how Republicans use misleading videos to attack Biden in a 24-hour period. And to their credit, we have a conservative Washington Examiner did call them out as well, calling out the New York Post. Ironically, several recent cheap fakes actually attacked the president for thanking troops. That is what they're attacking the president for. Both in Normandy this happened, and again in Italy. And I think that it tells you everything that we need to know about how desperate Republicans are here. And instead of talking about the president's performance in office, and what I mean by that is his legislative wins, what he's been able to do for the American people across the country, we're seeing these deep fakes, these manipulated videos, and it is, again, done in bad faith.